Will we see a minimum wage increase across the United States as we're seeing this here for actually a lot of workers? We'll go over that here in this video. And the debt limit, will we see that raised here as well? As Republicans and Democrats are fighting, we'll hear from Senator Bernie Sanders over the Social Security raise. His plan to increase Social Security by $2,400 a year. Well, we'll hear from Senator Bernie Sanders from that. Remember that he was the one who introduced the Social Security, expand the Social Security by $2,400 a year and extend the solvency by 75 years. You'll hear him talk about that in this video. I think he actually might be introducing something like that, or something change a little bit here this week as they're trying to fix Social Security here. You'll hear that in this video as well. So let's jump right in. Thanks for liking and sharing these videos, because this is really, really big stuff here, as Social Security is going to be running out of money in as early as 10 years, the Congressional Budget Office says. And the House and the Senate are working on this, and it's really big news here. Also, make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free, so you don't miss out on new videos. Also, the House passed a bill here, which was the Republicans are in control of the House now, but they keep passing these bills that are going to go nowhere. They're gonna, it used to be Mitch McConnell's graveyard in the Senate. Now it's Chuck Schumer's graveyard in the Senate. So the House Republicans passed a bill to end the public health emergency after a day after Biden announced that he was already going to end the public health emergency, the pandemic emergency, on May 11th. So he already announced he was going to end the emergency on May 11th. And then the day after, the House passed a bill to end the emergency, which only Republicans voted yes on it. You can see here, yeah, they did this, one day after Biden just announced that he was going to end it based on the pressure he's getting from the Republicans anyways. It passed 220 to 210 on a party line vote here. Only Republicans voted yes on it. All the Democrats voted no, and something very similar to that here. And the problem here is that that it's not going to pass in the Senate, because without any Democrat votes, you need 60 votes in the Senate. I don't know why Republicans keep voting on these bills that are just going to die in the Senate, when they know this is going to happen here. Remember, the first bill the Republicans passed, when they came into power, was the defunding of the IRS bill, which, again, no Democrats voted for, and it died in the Senate. It went to, I guess, Mitch McConnell's graveyard now. It used to be called, I'm sorry, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's graveyard. It used to be Mitch McConnell's graveyard when he was the majority leader. Mitch McConnell used to brag about he would send bills to his graveyard. He wouldn't even take the bill up for a vote, because the majority leader can do that. So the Republicans keep voting on these bills that they know aren't going to pass in the Senate. Let me know your thoughts on this, because I'm not sure why they're even doing it. So next up, we'll hear from Senator Bernie Sanders, who's technically an independent, because he criticizes the Democrats a lot, but he does vote with the Democrats most of the time. He has a bill to increase the Social Security by $2,400 a year, as I showed you, and it would also extend the solvency by 75 years. It would raise taxes on the wealthy individuals that make $250,000 to $400,000 a year, and make them pay into the Social Security system, because they stop paying into the Social Security system now at $160,000, because that's when you stop paying into Social Security. He's also going to talk about raising the minimum wage, because the minimum wage has not been raised in our country since 2009, and there's still a bunch of states that have $7.25 minimum wage. Now, I'll show you here. Walmart, who is the largest employer in our country, I think Amazon is second, Walmart just raised their minimum wage to U.S. hourly workers to $14 an hour. I think it kicks in next month here, but that is the minimum wage that they will hire anybody. And I think their average hourly wage is now $17 an hour. You'll see this now, but we're starting to see more and more people basically get a higher minimum wage. But will we actually see this for the whole country? Take a listen.
17% jump in wages. The company's decision will push average hourly wages to over $17.50. That means 340,000 store employees will get a raise, representing 21% of Walmart's 1.6 million employees in the United States. Remember that Walmart is the largest private employer in the country. In his note published on the company's website, the CEO, John Furner, said he's focused on investing in employees through higher wages and new opportunities to help grow their careers. Now, this news comes as the U.S. job market remains extremely tight, with an unemployment rate of 3.5% in December. Joining me now is the Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, the new chairman of the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. He's a major proponent, always has been, of raising the federal minimum wage. He's also the author of a new book, It's Okay to Be Angry About Capitalism, which comes out next week. Senator, good to see you again. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Look, you've been making the argument, as have many people, for a legislative fix, for the federal minimum wage to actually be higher than it is. For better or for worse, the tight labor market has caused this to happen among some of the country's major employees. Are you okay with the market having addressed some of the things that you were hoping to address through legislation?
The reason that Walmart has raised the minimum wage is, you know what? You can't find labor in many parts of this country for 10 or 12 bucks an hour, the wages that they have been providing. So they have done in their own self-interest that, hey, we need workers. Let's raise it to at least $14 an hour. But that is not enough. A couple of years ago, we fought to raise the minimum wage to $15 as a result of inflation in real dollars. That should be at least $17 right now. Here's the bottom line. You got over 60% of the people in this country living paycheck to paycheck. Tens of millions are working at starvation wages. It is not too much to ask in the wealthiest country on earth, where we have massive income and wealth inequality, people on top doing phenomenally well, to say that in America, if you're working 40 hours a week, you're not living in poverty. 14 bucks an hour is not going to do it. We got to raise the minimum wage to a higher level than that, and I'll do my best to make sure that happens. Other point that I want to make, and everybody should know this, in terms of Walmart, Walmart is owned by the Walton family, the wealthiest family in America. And you got a lot of their workers who are earning wages so low, they got to go on food stamps, they got to go on Medicaid. So in other words, you have the taxpayers of this country subsidizing the wealthiest family in America because they're not paying a living wage.
Let me ask you, but I want to actually just put wages on the screen for a second. The current minimum wage of $7.25 an hour, if you work full time, would net you $15,080 a year. Your proposal, your basic minimum proposal here of $15 an hour, still gets you $31,200 a year. So for people who are offended by the idea of doubling the minimum wage, people are not running away with a whole lot of money at that point. You're still only earning $30,000 a year.
By the way, I just wanted to add in here real quick that the average yearly earnings is in the $50,000 range. It's over $50,000 a year now. Okay, so to look at this, these stats here, and Walmart paying $14 an hour minimum starting next month, and their average wages, because not everybody makes just the minimum at Walmart. Obviously, some people make more than the minimum there. I think they said their average hourly earnings were $17 and some change. The average person in America that works 40 hours a week, based on different careers and different places like that, and different people getting salaries, some high earners, some low earners, some middle earners, is $50-some thousand a year. So keep that in mind. And if you make $15 an hour, remember that you can make $14 an hour working 40 hours a week just at Walmart. That's the minimum. That's like $30,000 a year. The average person makes $50-some thousand a year now. So just keep that in mind.
You're still only earning $30,000 a year if you earn 15 bucks an hour.
And Ali, the price of housing has soared in recent years. You're an average worker. My God, you're paying $1,500 a month to put a roof over your head and your child's head. The price of food has gone up. You got healthcare expenses and so forth. So look, the bottom line is this is not complicated. You got an economy right now that is doing great, fantastic for the 1%. How about creating an economy that works for ordinary Americans? That means you raise the minimum wage to a living wage. What that will be, I don't know. To my mind, at least $17 an hour. It's going to be a struggle, but that's the fight I want to wage.
Let me ask you about Social Security. There are concerns amongst members of the new majority in the House that the Social Security Trust Fund will not be fully funded by 2033. They've caused people to think that that means that if you are retiring at that point, you won't get your full payout. That is inaccurate. However, there is an issue with funding, with replenishing the trust fund. You have a different solution for that than the Republicans have.
Right. These guys over in the House, some of them, not all, think that the solution is at a time when so many seniors, we don't talk about this enough. You got people who are trying to make it on Social Security, $15,000, $18,000 a year. You can't. So the solution is not what some Republicans want to cut Social Security. The solution is to lift the cap on taxable income coming into the trust fund. Right now, you have an insane, really absurd situation. Person X makes $10 million a year. Person Y makes $160,000 a year. Both contribute exactly the same amount of money into the Social Security Trust Fund. If you lift that cap, as our legislation proposes, start at $250,000, you will have Social Security solvent for the next 75 years, solves the problem entirely, and raise benefits for lower income seniors. So that's the fight that we are waging. We're going to introduce that legislation this week.
Tell me what that looks like in this House. I know you're not in the House, but we have seen a House where most of the priorities right now from Kevin McCarthy's crew are investigations, except for the Social Security matter, which will lead to possibly not raising the debt ceiling, which will lead to possibly a government shutdown and increased borrowing costs. But no one's actually working on a fix for this right now. So when you say you're going to propose it, how might that actually work and become law?
We are working on a fix. Absolutely. Look, it is true that we should be concerned about the solvency of Social Security. Our legislation says that the wealthiest people in this country, you're no longer going to get a massive tax breaks in terms of Social Security Trust Fund. Pay a fair share. We solved that problem for 75 years. And by the way, there is a lot of support among the American people for that idea and in the Senate as well. But I think, Ali, to answer your question, I think our job in the Senate is to put concrete ideas on the table that the American people will say, yeah, we should raise the minimum wage. Yeah, we should increase benefits for low-income seniors and improve the solvency of Social Security. Yes, we should take on the greed of the pharmaceutical industry and lower prescription drug costs in this country. Yes, we should deal with the crisis in childcare. I think if we do our job, people will see the contrast between serious legislating and what goes on in the House.
But that contrast, how does it manifest? In other words, does that mean for the next election, for 2024? Because there's a long distance between Bernie Sanders putting out an idea and a Republican House passing a piece of legislation. You still talk, as you and I often have talked for years, about Medicare for all, some sort of universal health care in America. It's a great idea. Lots of Americans actually support it. But there's no road to legislation right now. So is this about building a platform for 2024?
Well, Ali, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I saw a poll not so long ago among Republicans, just polled Republicans. Do you know what the major issue the Republicans were concerned about? Yeah. Is the outrageously high cost of prescription drugs.
Right.
And my Republican colleagues understand that. Question is, do they have the guts to take on the power of the pharmaceutical industry and lower prices in this country to where they are in Canada?
But we saw the answer to that. We saw the answer to that with insulin. For whatever reason, the Republican Party decided to take the wrong position on subsidizing insulin for the millions of people who need it.
Yeah, and they did terribly, by the way. They did not do as well as expected in the last election. That's what our job is. If you have the overwhelming majority of Republicans say, let's see, pharmaceutical industry makes tens of billions of dollars in profits. And yet we pay, in some cases, 10 times more than Canadians for the same drug. That doesn't make sense. We take the case to the American people. I think we put the Republicans on the defensive. And by the way, you may have, in terms of Social Security, our old friend Donald Trump, you recall what he just said a week or two ago? He said to his Republican colleagues, don't cut Social Security and Medicare. They will listen to them. Our job is to create pressure around an agenda that works for the working class and the middle class. Be aggressive. Pass that bill in the Senate and show the contrast.
Yeah, so what do you think of that? I mean, they really need a few Republican votes to pass this. They would need 10 Republican votes in the Senate and 10 Republican votes in the House to pass something like this. Is there a few Republicans that would vote for something like this? Remember, this would make Social Security solvent for 75 more years and would raise benefits for seniors. If it's a $2,400 a year bill, or if they're coming out with a new bill here this week that might be something similar or something different, well, we'll see here. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's completely free to do so. Just click the subscribe button, then the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos. And also, don't forget to hit the like button for us as well, and share these videos with anybody that needs to hear this information. Here's 2 new videos that you need to watch as well. Here's another video from the House of Representatives about the debt and really good information about Social Security and the debt of our country. You need to watch that if you haven't yet. And here's a video actually from former President Donald Trump about a missile defense system for our country that's very good here as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.